Okay, everybody. CDC advises parents to prepare for sudden sleepover for school children. Easy as ABC, cdc.gov. Center for Disease Control recently updated their website advising parents to prepare for a sudden sleepover for their children in the case of a disaster, which could include COVID-19. Coincidentally or not, a few days later on August 31st, a new order was issued by Ohio Department of Health interim Director Lance Himes, creating Fema COVID-19 shelters and legalizing their use. The Fema shelters are to be used to isolate those diagnosed with or showing symptoms of COVID-19. See story in the Ohio Star, it says. The CDC advised parents to prepare for children to be detained overnight in case of a disaster, listing COVID-19 as a biological threat that would qualify as a disaster. Governor Mike DeWine requires schools to report K-12 student COVID cases to the government. This must be done within 24 hours of a positive test. Good God. A 3-step preparedness card published by the CDC says it's as easy as ABC to prepare. Ask how you would be reunited with your child in an emergency evacuation. B. Bring extra medicine, special food, or supplies your child would need if you were separated overnight. C. Complete a backpack card and tuck one in your child's backpack and your wallet. Backpacker's emergency card. Then it says, then you got your bring emergency medical card. C. Complete CDC infographic. Tell school administrators about any extra supplies your child may need to safely make it through the night away from home. The CDC advised bring extra medicine, special foods, or supplies your child would need if separated overnight. Complete a backpack card and tuck one in your child's backpack. The ODH order calls for college students living in dorms or other situations deemed unacceptable by health officials to be sent to FEMA shelters for isolation. Any Ohioan living in a household that health officials deem unacceptable, generally a shared bathroom, could legally be ordered to a FEMA shelter. You hear that, guys? This is happening. Now it's happening. And this is just in Ohio, but this is the CDC saying this to all parents. Okay? Don't send your kids back to school. Or you're going to probably wind up going to pick them up and them being gone, detained. Okay? And they're going to detain people, pull them out of their homes and children for their safety and put them in these, get this, here is the thing, they're uncongregatable shelters. So they don't get to congregate with anybody, they're just in there in solitude, man. Let's get to it. Here we go. Says Ohio FEMA camps. Ohio Star reported on September 3rd, the Ohio Department of Health interim Director Lance Himes released an order on August 31st, an order creating federal emergency management agency shelters and legalizing their use for people who are unable to safely self-quarantine in their place of residence and to isolate those diagnosed or with showing symptoms of COVID-19. The non-congregate FEMA shelters will be utilized throughout the state for people according to examples given by Himes who test positive for COVID-19, who do not require hospitalization but need isolation, including those exiting from hospitals, those who have been exposed to COVID-19, who do not require hospitalization, asymptomatic high-risk individuals needing social distancing as a precautionary measure. Ohio Emergency Management Agency is secure the necessary approvals for the use of non-congregate shelters, and local health officials are to be on the lookout for both public and private spaces to be utilized for the FEMA camps. Good God. When state officials determine the need to utilize the camps, as EMA is authorized to coordinate with state agencies. State-funded colleges and universities are required to hand over their vacant buildings as grounds for use under the order. The reporter from the WMFD-TV in Mansfield asked Ohio Republican Governor Mike DeWine for more details about the order during the press conference on September 3rd. The question and answers can be found below. The orders give the state of Ohio the ability to draw down federal funding to reimburse local EMA and health department when a non-congregate shelter is needed. These shelters are used when an individual is unable to safely quarantine or isolate in their home. The nature of these shelters is no different than what EMA and others stand up during natural disasters. Bullshit. The intent of the order is to provide safe and healthy space for the individual who needs to be quarantined or isolated as determined by local needs. This also helps protect family members from exposure. FEMA has facts, more information available as determined by local needs remains ambiguous as an answer to the question of who the fuck decides whether a person's residence is safe. With the non-congregate shelters applied to Ohioans of all ages, That is, if a single parent has one bathroom apartment and a child deemed to have had exposure to COVID-19 at school, and the health department determines that the child needs to isolate, but also deems the single parent dwelling unsafe, is the child directed to the shelter? Of course they are. You know what they do. They call CPS or whatever bullshit they do, and they take your children. This is all happening, people. They were right. Everybody's been right this whole time about them trying to take our kids. I said it too. This is all part of the United Nations NWO plan. You understand that, right? It's in the agenda, man. It's in the words. It's all there. They want to take our children and raise them in their own schools away from us, and we won't see them again until they're 18, 17, if they're indoctrinated with all their bullshit, if we live through that. You know, because they'd get rid of all of us anyway so they could have it. Their New World Order and brainwash all the kids. And we wouldn't be there to stop them. You know, the fight is now, people. The fight is now. You can read the last two paragraphs of this bullshit because I read all the valid stuff, you guys. You know it's important if I'm actually reading it and not just posting it, okay? This is unbelievable. Actually, it is believable. I expect nothing less from these bastards. And if you think it's just going to be in Ohio, you're out of your damn minds. It's war, man. We are at war. I'll catch y'all the next time.